So today we're going to work on, here he is. Today we're going to work on, try setting up a little before 7 o'clock next time. Ding. Last ding. Sorry, it's good to see you. At any rate, we'll work on the jaw, the head, neck, and the shoulders. So that may find that it helps relieve some of your back issues as well. So it's hard to know where it starts because it's also interconnected. The body's so connected. So when we roll out our feet, you might feel that all the way up the back of the head, different places. So as we move through this, we'll just be very thoughtful because the neck and the jaw, we carry lots of tension here. And so you'll not just pay attention to what happens when you start to play. We're not doing anything too intense, but it's just an opportunity to really pay attention. So take a good seat. However that is for you, blankets, blocks, whatever you need to be comfortable so the back can be long. Just take a little body scan, mind, spirit. So I've said before, sometimes in the morning I feel like, well, my body, part of my body is still in bed. The mind is somewhere stuck halfway between here and home. Spirit, I don't know, it all seems disjointed. If you're feeling really super connected and synced up and great, just notice if you don't feel totally synced up. After class, you should feel a lot more synced up, body, mind, and spirit. They're all trimmed up together. Before go chanting Om this morning, I see the allergies are killing me. So draw the palms together in front of us and dedicate your practice to a synced up body, to being in alignment with your body, mind, and spirit, meaning with the greater energy of the universe. Okay? Flutter your eyes and come up. So we will start on the back. So Shelley and Janice, you might want either your pillow to your head and one level of a blanket, like about like maybe this, to support you. If you feel like your chin is going way high, you can slide a bit of a blanket. So just, this feels so good. And there you have it. Shelley, we're in Shavasana. Shelley's t-shirt said, I'm really good at Shavasana. Don't want to brag about it. Don't want to brag, but I'm really good at Shavasana. So just take a moment here. With the knees bent, feet on the floor. And very gently push into your feet isometrically as though you're trying to push your feet away. And you'll notice your back waist comes towards the floor. Now pull your heels towards your hips and the back waist comes off the floor. Push the feet away from you. The back waist comes towards the floor. Pull the feet towards you. Do you notice you're doing cat-cow here? Mm-hmm. It's a contraction and an extension. Contraction is when you're pressing the back waist to the floor. Belly button comes closer to the floor. Extension is where you're extending the tailbone by pulling your feet towards you. So it's a gentle push, and you can figure out if your feet are too close to your hips or too far away, it can make it a little challenging. So figure out where your feet need to be able to do cat-cow. Now just do that sort of easily, back and forth, nothing too intense, nothing too huge. And notice, as soon as you notice this, it might change, but notice if your head is moving or if the head is still. So if the head and neck are relaxed and you're not trying to grip them, oh, by the way, part your back teeth slightly so you're not squeezing your jaw together and pressing the lips together. When you press the back waist, when you push the feet away from you and press the back waist down, the chin tends to lift if the neck is relaxed. And then when you pull the feet toward your hips and your back waist comes off the floor, your chin tends to go towards the sternum. Now, if the head's not moving, just notice that and try to relax it and start to push and pull more with the feet, a little more intensely, and see if you can't get the head to move a little bit. If you try consciously to move the head while you're doing this, you'll just scramble your brain. So it's really a purely physical engagement that when the hips move, the head moves as well, if everything's in alignment. And then pause and release a minute, and when you're on the floor, nobody can see you. Begin to make all the faces you can, sliding the jaw side to side, open the mouth wide, yawn if that happens. Squeeze the eyes, open the eyes. Practice your Halloween faces. Scrunch it up, extend it out. Just relax the jaw. We carry so much tension. All right, with the feet mat width apart, so walk your feet to just the outer edges of the mat. Arms in a T position. Drop, don't move the feet, just drop the knees towards the right. And inhale, knees back up to center. Exhale, drop the knees to the left. Do this at your own pace. Inhaling as you lift the knees to center. Exhaling as you drop them to one side, back and forth. Be sure the breath moves with it. If you hold your breath during this, you're increasing the tension. So inhale as you lift the knees. Exhale as you lower, and take all the breath, all the exhale. Stretching back and forth. Now, see if you can add the head without scrambling your brain. So as the knees go to the right, the eyes and the head gently rolls to the left, the opposite way the legs go. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. So your head is moving the opposite way. And again, you're not trying to rip your twisty head off, twist off cat head off. You're just turning it, just warming up the muscles. Doing that. And this is also really good for hip flexor, sciatica, IT band, gentle movement. All right. One more thing here. You may have to clear your space. With your arms down by your side, you'll take one swipe and you'll get everything out of the way. Turn the palms up. With the back of the hands still on the floor, reach the arms overhead like you're making a big clock face. So the arms are just, the arms are staying on the floor and you're drawing a circle on the floor. Arms go out to the side, T position, and then the arms go overhead. And if they don't touch overhead, that's no big deal. Just take them out wherever they go. You'll notice what's going on with the shoulder blades. As you reach the arms overhead or along the floor, the shoulder blades extend off the back. As you bring the arms down, the shoulder blades start to move back on the back. So just make this nice, like angel, like snow angel. That's the image I'm trying to get. That's more immediate. We get that. Oh. So just these simple things make all the difference in the world. Release the arms wherever they're comfortable. And so typically when we're standing, I don't have us do neck circles because people take it too far. But because you're on the floor and the back of the head prevents your head from going back, drop your chin to your chest. Again, be gentle, stretching out the back of the neck. Roll the head to the right and look over the right shoulder. You'll start to roll to the back of the head, looking up through your eyebrows. Over to the left. and down and the chin back. So it's you're drawing a circle with the nose, then reverse the circle. You're drawing a little circle with the nose, over and down. Reverse it each time and do 2 on one side, 2 on the other. This is something I do with my granddaughter. We have a little sequence of eye and head rolling exercises in bed, and it makes her so sleepy. Oh, and then release. Draw your knees in, roll to one side, use the strength of your arms, and come up to hands and knees. Pat your knees as you wish. So blanket under there if it feels a little bit hard, and put the blocks under your hands. And Janice, you may want to use your blue blocks on this for your wrist. Table. And the blocks are about outer shoulder width apart, not too close together. And here you've worked your back, so tuck your tailbone. Oh, press the middle back up to the ceiling. That might be really tight. And drop the head. Inhale, lift your sits bones, inner thighs move back and apart. Shoulder blades slide onto the back. Collarbone lifts, head lifts, not by pinching the back of the neck, by extending the spine. Continue at your own pace, really slowly, and move through as though you're moving each vertebrae, starting at the tailbone and moving up, starting at the tailbone and contracting in. So begin this with your hips. The head just follows on along at the end. And really press the back waist from the middle back up to the ceiling to get a good stretch. This is a super simple move and highly therapeutic when done with awareness. When you do it like the solid gold dancers, not so much. Anybody remember solid gold dancers? Patrick's probably too young. You remember them? They would flip their hair, and it was kind of soft porn on network TV. Right? Yeah. Wasn't it? Is it just me? Yeah. I mean, anyway, all right, and then pause and walk your knees back. So you can either do this in puppy, if your knees are comfortable in child's pose, widen the knees wide apart, keep the hands on the block and stretch back. Or the option is walk the knees way back and the hands forward and keep the hips over the knees. So then press your hands into the blocks and lift your armpits, particularly roll your inner armpit up to the ceiling, and the outer shoulder rolls down as you're pressing the hands down, the seesaw principle. The head's not hanging down, it's just holding naturally between your arms, not below. The ears are not below the arms or above, just maybe a tiny bit above. And release. All right, come back up to table. And we've done this sitting, but see if you can, without bending your elbows, you're not making a rounded back, you're just lifting. So it's see if I can explain. It's a piston system. You're pulling the shoulder, the head of the arm bone away from the shoulder socket and then putting it in. You're pulling the shoulder blades off the back and then squeezing them together. So you're moving up and down. Yeah, the heart is moving up and down, but you're not bending your arms. Yeah, it's like, what? Yeah. So you just, it's a sort of a test of the flexibility of your shoulder blades, so the muscles around your shoulder blades. All right, release. And just sit back a moment. You can be up like this if sitting on your heels. But if you take one arm forward and you like reach for the cookies, right? Now, without bending the elbow, pull the head of the arm in the back. Reach it out and pull it back. Yeah, do you feel that motion? Mm-hmm. It's not this, but and if you don't have a lot of movement here, that says a lot about the muscles around the shoulder. This is really good to do while you're waiting for the water to boil. Now do the other one. Stretch out, reach for the cookies. You can feel the shoulder blade, you feel a little extension there, and then pull back. Yeah, out and back, out and back. That's what we're doing here. Reaching for the cookies, pulling the shoulder blades, squeezing the shoulder blades together, pulling them off the back, squeezing them together. So try it one more time on hands and knees and see if you can find that. It takes a while to find it, especially if we've been doing this a lot, and I was doing this a lot yesterday. So, you've got to find that engagement. So you can do it hands and knees or up where you are. That's easier. Yeah. Watch that what you're doing with your head. So it's not a head thing. It's just isolating the shoulders. Tricky. And so then if you get really good at it, you can come up. You can do this. Right? With a white man's overcoat. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Take your blocks. Haul your right foot forward. And you can keep your hands on the blocks lightly if you need it, or the left hand's on top of the right knee. If you feel unstable here, keep the left hand on the block. The right arm, again, now you're reaching out, reaching for the cookies. And reach back, take your time, feel that stretch across the front of the thigh when you reach back. And bring the arm down. Big, slow circles. As big and slow as possible. The hands of time, right? Really slow. And let the head just follow your hand. Look at your fingertips. And again, if you're feeling wobbly, the left hand can stay on the block. Perfectly legal. You still get the benefits of the stretch. Reverse the circle. Look at your fingertips so you're following like you're some magical wizard and you're watching. Careful. This is great for the shoulder. And then with your left block, it can be high, medium, low, or your fingertips can be on the floor, whatever you want. Oh, haul the back leg up. Keep it straight. Rotate the ribs towards the front leg side. The ribs go towards the front leg side. Move the head back. It tends to want to fold forward, so move the top and bottom of the ears back. Stretch the right arm straight up to the ceiling, or if this is uncomfortable, keep the hand on the hip. Pull the shoulder blade, retract the shoulder blade on the back, the right one, and then turn the head to look down as the ribs are trying to move towards away from where you're looking. Oh, quite different on the neck, yes? All right, knee. And from here, then you can have the blocks as high on either side. Do a little bend, a little straighten. Little bend, little straighten. So you're doing cat-cow with the back and the head comes with it. So as you come into a lunge, you're extending the spine. As you come into a runner stretch, straightening the front leg, round the back, tuck the tailbone, press the middle back up. Just do a few of those, back and forth. All right, lower the back knee, slow low jump switch. Okay, so the first one is, you're not in a big lunge here. It's not like you're in a super deep lunge. You're in a kind of a square with a negative space as a square. The right hand can either be on the top of the left knee. Also, I find I get stability if you can either tuck the toes and press there. If that hurts the toes, you press into the top of the foot. That still gives you a lot of stability on the standing leg. The other one is not to have your legs too close together. Widen them out a part of it, and that will give you more stability. If you're walking a tightrope, that's a lot harder to balance than if you're walking on railroad tracks. So keep that in mind whenever you're doing asymmetrical or standing poses. So you can have the right hand on the block. I would have it high, and then start to do the hands of time really slow. Watch your fingertips. Take your time. Reach it back. And then make the whole circumference and watch the fingertips. Look at them. Don't let your fingertip out of your sight. Your index finger out of your sight. And then I fall over. That's right. It's a test, right?
Yes.
And reverse. So how simple is this movement, right? It's not like turning into twisty tie, but look at all you're doing. You're using your legs, you're stretching the quadricep when you go back, if you go back far enough, you're testing your balance, you have to use your core. There's a lot going on here with just a super, super simple movement. So we don't have to kill ourselves to make things work. Now, you can use your block by your where your right foot would have been, to haul the back leg up. And this block, here's your volume control. How high the block is depends on how your hips are feeling this morning. So play with them.
It's this knee. I'll see if I can get it up.
You don't have to get it up if you don't want to. I mean, if it's not working this morning, you can still get the twist. All right, there. So first find the length. Find the length. Tailbone goes to the back heel. Crown of the head goes way up, in this case, towards the windows. You press your left hand on top of the left knee and rotate the ribs. Pull the ribs around without letting the back leg go. A lot of times the back leg will start to get soft, so keep lifting the back of your thigh up. Now stretch the arm up if you want, or keep the hand on the knee. Don't press it, and then look down at your right hand. Ooh. The left arm does not have to be extended to the sky. It can stay down. Just keep extending your left shoulder to the sky. Oh, yeah. And then both blocks, one on either side of the foot. You can step your back foot up a little bit, keep the heel up. Come into lunge again. You're doing extended back, cow back. Exhale, straighten the leg, lift the back heel, and round the back. Press the middle back up to the ceiling. Do this a few times at your own pace. With your breath, inhale as you extend within the front knee. Exhale as you round and straighten. Oh. Big movements. All right. I think we're here. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Come into either half forward bend, so feet are outer hip width apart, pretty wide. You can rest if your hamstrings are tight, rest your forearms on your thighs. The shins are straight up and down. Don't let the knees come forward of the ankles. Lift sit bones. Inner thighs move way back and apart. Oh, and extend the spine. And then little bend, little straighten. Little bend, little straighten. Little bend, just nudge those hamstrings up just a tiny bit without rounding the back. So the back stays the same. The head's in line with the spine. It's not diving down. It's not looking up. Hands on your hips. Come up halfway. Shrug your shoulders. Lift the head of the arm bones to the spine. Push down and rise. Up. Great. So we'll get into these big muscles, the lats, latissimus dorsi. So if you've ever been to a gym, they have you pull down the lat bar. That's what's getting here. But they're weak, but they're also tight. And that will pull on the back as well. So you find it's hard to find with back stuff. There's not one right answer as to what will cause that. I had a little crick in the back last night. So I had in my hip. All right. So the lats are these kind of big muscles. So your trapezius is the big triangle muscle that goes across the back and the shoulders and up into some part of the head. But the lats attach at the top of the hip right here and come up. So if they're tight and they're weak, that can drag down and pull on things. So stand in a nice, called my steady ready pose. Feet parallel, a little bit outer hip width, bend the knees, hug the heels towards each other, shift your weight into your heels and take your hips back like you're about ready to sit in a chair, but don't go too far down. Just to where you can extend it. Keep hugging the heels in, that will firm the inner thighs. And then stretch the left arm up and over. And get into stretch this part of the body, the lat, right in here. So you may have to slightly contract, hold the ribs back to get it. Do you find that you don't have to go far?
Yeah.
You don't, but pull back a little bit and try to get right into that place. It's hard to find sometimes. And inhale, press up. Oh, yeah. And take a little seat. Be sure your knees are not coming forward. The knees are staying back. So you won't be able to go back far, but just enough to make your legs work a little bit. Hug your heels towards each other. Take the right arm up and over. And then pull, particularly your right ribs back. Pull your right ribs back. Suck in the core to get right in the side back area. Oh, stretch. Nice. Big shoulders close. All right, standing again, it's like a Tadasana, a wide Tadasana. Yeah, that's something, do a lot. Like if you're sitting, just and your watch tells you to stand up, you stand up and do a little, if you're waiting for your tea water to boil. Especially working at home, you have no excuse, right? All right, so again, the legs are not locked, they're slightly bent, but not so you'd notice. Come into full beach fade, so you're just lightly interlacing the hands, press the head into the hands, pull the elbows slightly forward and suck the armpits on the back. So it's like someone poked you in the armpit, but you're not collapsing. You're staying lifted and just sucking back. Good turn, right? Armpits back. Now, keeping the frontal hip bones facing forward, just turn to your left. And notice your right hip bone wants to come with you. Pull the outer right hip back. Inhale, come center. Keep pushing your head back into your hands. Turn, and you're taking the opposite hip back because it wants to come with you. You're keeping it straight. Nice, Sarah. You feel that when you're working that. It's really quite subtle. Like I can do this, right?
Yeah.
And that's great. But if I'm thinking someone's holding my hips here, as I'm turning and pulling the opposite hip back, keep lifting in the spine and just keep rotating. Exhale as you twist. Pull the opposite outer hip back. Don't let it come with you. Inhale when you come to center. Exhale as you pull the opposite hip back and stretch. This is so sweet for the ears. Be sure you're even. You may have gotten, if you remember which side you started on, finish up. All right, let's roll the feet. So believe it or not, rolling up the feet helps the head and neck, helps all the way up, because you're working with the back fascial chain, and it starts at the bottom of the feet, comes up the back of the body, all the way to the base of the skull. The fascia has more nerves than muscle fibers do. So you step back enough that you have some balance. Yeah, see the counter's nice there, Shelley. I'm liking it. That may be your new spot, huh? Yeah, all right. Yeah, so the sucker seeks freedom. So you just let her go. All right, so if you keep the heel on the floor, that kind of helps you control. You press at the base of each foot, and it should hurt. Yeah, so you're just pressing, and then work zigzag way through the arch. Oh, Jerry, you need a ball or something, but you can do this at home. You can, I'm so used to Allison and Sherry know the drill, or Eileen, sorry, and Sherry. You can massage with the feet, with the fingers. And then once you work to the back of the foot, come to your high heel sneaker, and start to work right in front of the heel at the back of the arch. And then work your way onto the harder part of the heel. Yeah, see, that'll be, see, your eyes just went up. And sometimes you feel this like, it kind of like zings somewhere. Yeah, you just feel it all the way up. And then rinse and scribble, play with your balance. Holding on the walls works as well. Go back to spots that need more and release. Just stand for a moment.
Yeah.
And notice in the stillness and connect. And notice that side, whole side of the body feels different. This leg actually feels longer. This one somehow feels like I've got it up. So you don't walk in a circle all day. Let's work side B. So you first start and you just press. I do sort of keep the feet fairly far apart so I have some control and press. So how do you step your right foot back and back and back? You're tall. Go, go, go. Now you see you have a little more control there.
Yeah.
You could even take a wider stance because your legs are longer. Oh, and you just keep going in. Yeah, those kind of places. Sarah's face kind of like you just. Oh yeah. This is so good for you. Keep working towards the back of the heel and then go to your high heel spinner. And put your body weight on it to the point you can do before screaming. Stop just shy of screaming, ooh and ow, or okay, good. Yeah. Work the leathery part of the heel, the back of the heel, that can get really calloused and tough, but it still has fascia in it. So you just kind of press on it a bit. And the inner, sort of the inner back heel, all of the sides of the foot work. Tactics like this. Yeah. Right, and then scribble and rinse. Just roll from the heel to the toe and all around. Pigeon. What was that big song? Saying too much. All right, be done. Be done with it. Pick up your block. And you'll press it. Now, because your shoulders are bigger, you may want to do two, but you have to be careful. If you press too hard, it goes like that, or you may even want a little more space here, but that causes it. So you're just pressing just enough to where you can pull it up. You can try one, depends on how your shoulders are. Then squeeze the elbows together, take the block back, and put the blockers right at the back of the head. You can even walk your fingertips around the block to hold it and push it into your head. Pull the elbows slightly forward, suck the armpits back, pull your bottom ribs in and down, and push your head back. And notice what that does to your posture. Everybody stood up straighter. Do you feel it, Shelley? It looks good. Yeah. So yeah. And stretch your elbows. Pull your elbows in. Squeeze it in, and stretch the elbows. Yeah, there you go. Oh, nice. Nice. Do you feel this is really good for after sitting over a hot computer all day or multiple times during the day? Oh, push back and release. You see how the neck works? You have to move that, but it also gets the shoulders. It fixes the hair too. Now, hold the block as best you can. Take about mat width apart, feet parallel. Hug the heels towards each other so the knees don't knock in. Bend your knees and pull the block apart and overhead. If this is impossible, grab a strap and pull the strap and go overhead. And so just bend forward, softening the knees, lifting the block, pulling the block apart, or the strap if you grab the strap. And then using the legs, come up halfway, hinge from the hips. The spine is long, neutral, and push down, inhale your way all the way up. All right. Let's find our way down for the fun part of the class, right? I've been having fun. I know, right? Right. Have your blocks and a blanket near you. So you may want this, but you'll just have it near you, fold it the narrow way. This is the way it comes off the stack. Fold it along the fringe. And just put it at the head, so your head will be towards me. Be easier for you to see. Have the strap within grabbing distance, but you won't need it for a few moments here. All right, come on to your belly. Oh, and moan. Moaning is good. And rest, stack your hands and rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Wiggle your hips a little bit, just orient to the floor. So if you've got some low back issues, and I just like to do it anyway, I don't particularly have low back issues, but widen your legs almost mat width apart. And, you know, if you're tall, clearly mat width apart. You're coming to the top of your feet and try to roll to the baby toe side. So the top of the baby toe is on the floor as much as the top of the big toe. And you'll notice that as we start to lift the torso and use the back muscles, you'll start to curl the baby toe up. Try to keep it out, spread the toes, and press down. You can also tuck the toes if that feels good. Sometimes my knees don't like the floor. All right, come down and rest your forehead. Just pull the blanket so just a little bit of it is on the forehead so the nose does not have to smash into the mat. And bring your arms out in like goalpost arms, cactus arms. The elbows are bent, palms are spread. Again, quick, all 10 toenails down, hug, the heels towards each other without peeling the baby toe off. Pull from the heels to the glutes and extend from the tailbone back down to the heels. Keep the belly button engaged. Just lift the arms. And notice it's going to be easier to lift the elbows. Try lifting the back of the hands as fast as the elbows. Pulling the shoulder blades on the back. Extending the fingers, spreading the fingers. Nice. Lift and breathe. Keep breathing. Nice. And then extend the arms up into a big V. So the arms are extended, stretching through the fingertips. Keep the legs engaged, pulling from the heels to the glutes, glutes to the heels. And then pull back to the goalpost, or W, other sort of things. Inhale, stretch out to a V. Keep hugging the shoulder blades on the back. Exhale, back down to W. One more. Inhale, extend to V. Exhale, W, release. Shake off. Again, super simple. Lift your hands a little bit more than your elbows. Yeah, there you go. And release. There you go. All right, this time, we'll do it a couple of times more. You can look up a bit. You might, again, this depends on your body, your head, neck. Otherwise, keep your head on the blanket. But in the second round, you can hover the head off the blanket. None of this, no pinching the back of the neck. Back of the neck stays long. It's like back sit-ups. You're using the back muscles. And you have to be careful not to lift the elbows faster. And then it's like you're pulling a lat bar down. Maybe the head hovers off. Maybe it just gets a tad bit lighter on the blanket. So W and V, your arms at your pace. So you're inhaling as you extend out the arms out and straighten into a V. Exhale when you pull the lat bar down with resistance. Maybe the head comes up, maybe it doesn't. If it brings stress into the neck, then don't do it. All right, release. You can keep the head on the blanket. I think it's more comfortable than placing it all the way on the mat. Take your one block, and we did this standing up. Walk your elbows forward and fairly close, as close together as you can get them. Again, extend through your legs. Pull from the heels to the glutes and extend back out from the glutes to the heels. Keep that energy moving up and down. Bend the elbows. Remember when we put the block at the back of the head? It's that movement. although you're not worried about your head at this point when they get there. But press into the block, hug the shoulder blades on the block, and then see if you can lift your head into the block. And press the head into the block as you're pressing your hands into the block as well. Oh, yeah. Hugging the shoulder blades on the back. Release. All right. Take the blocks on either side of you, off the mat, shoulder high. Remember, we've done Spider-Man Cobra where you take the fingertips off the mat. This time, plant the hands on the blocks and they're low level. Extend through the legs, click the baby toenail down on the floor. Engage from the heels to the glutes. Now shrug the shoulders, lift towards the ears, lift the head of the arm belts, lengthen the tailbone, pull the belly button up and in, and then press up. And as you slightly lower, turn and look to your left hand. Don't come down all the way. And then inhale, look straight. And exhale, look over to the right hand. So you're trying to keep the elbows up, they're not lowering. And notice when I turn to look one side or the other, pretty good stretch across the front of the chest, that side. Back. So you're just inhaling, lifting, exhaling, looking the other way. You're not letting your weight down at any point. The blanket is there in case you do a crash land. Pull your blocks a little closer, Janice, to the mat. A little closer. And a little back. There, now lift your elbows. There you go. Now push there. All right, that's enough push-ups for the day. Push back in a child's pose. Or puppy pose. You rest your forehead on your hands with a block. Just to stretch out the back. Okay. So, black shirt and a black belt, but we'll see how this goes. All right, the next one, before you roll down, I'll just show it to you so you don't have to pick up your head as you're lying down. The strap will be held like about the bottom tip of the shoulder blades in there. And we'll do a few things here, like pull the strap out, get the shoulder blades on the back, and then we'll do a dropping the knees side to side. And then when the knees are, we'll bump the hips over. I'll tell you all this. You don't have to remember it, just want you to see it. As you drop over, then you'll pull the strap and come around. This is where you may want a blanket under your head and stretch it out. It's a big stretch for the back. So roll onto your back and I'll talk you through it. The strap is right at about the strap line, bottom tip of the shoulder blades. And you're holding on the strap. You can wrap it if you want to, but you just want to get some tension on the strap, not so much that you're killing your hands. Knees bent, feet on the floor. With the center back of the head on the floor, the chin is slightly lifted. It's neither tucked nor trying to move away. It's neutral, so find neutral. And then take a breath and lift the hands just a little bit off the floor. Hover them off the floor and pull the strap apart. And release. Take a big inhale, exhale, slightly hover the hands and pull the strap apart on the exhale. And release. Relax the hands. Don't have to grip the strap right now, so let the hands go. And shift your jaw side to side, the bottom jaw. One way and then the other. One way and then the other. Then open the jaw, widen the mouth, and then release. And open and release. This time, with press your feet into the floor. Lift your hips just a smidge off the floor and bump them off to the left a couple of inches. So you're not quite straight. Then when you roll to your right side, Now this is where, if your knees don't touch, and mine don't, because I'm super tight, you can put a block between your knees. So the thigh bones are about perpendicular to the mat, and the arms are out at shoulder height, and the ribs are starting to roll back to the left. So you're open in a twist. The legs are to the right. Now you're just staying here. We're not rolling back and forth. Arms out in T position, both shoulder blades on the floor. And just pause here a minute. Now lift your, if you'll draw your knees up a little closer to your shoulder pad, that will, yeah, there you go. Now you slip a block between your knees, because you got the same thing I'm going on. The hips super tight, and that gives you, Shelley, you may want that too, it might feel good. Yeah, do you feel how that just helps a little bit? It's like the pillow between the knees at night that they say we should sleep with. Now lift your left arm towards the ceiling and pull the strap around the back and roll all the way onto your right side, and stretch your right hand beyond your left hand beyond your right one. So the left hand is stretching way beyond, pulling it out. And then inhale, unwind, and you'll notice the strap's a little looser as you come back. And come back. All right, lift the knees up, feet down, bump the hips to the right. Bump the hips to the right, and drop the knees to the left. Now pull the strap apart, the arms are in T position. Both shoulder blades are on the floor. The head is looking towards the right. Pull the strap. And that helps you pull the shoulder blades together. We're not folding over yet, just staying open in a twist position. And then slowly pull the right arm over and make a little taco. Must be getting hungry. And the head rests either on a blanket or the floor, the side of the head. And now both arms and knees are pointing to the left. You're looking straight to the left. And pull the right hand more. Pull it beyond the left one. Oh, yeah. That feels super nice. And then come back out. And back over. Right your hips. Do a neutral one. Just pull the arms in a T. Just pull again. Release. Make scribbles with the arms like seagrass, octopus arms. Just move them around to stretch. And then if you have a block between the knees, remove that. Then the knees roll over and press up. So I'll show this one too. It is really good. And Jerry, I already hear you fine, so because this is super tight for you. So I want you to find a place, actually, take the ball and find, it's this little pec triangle right here. Here's the armpit. This is under the collarbone. And if you press right there, it's most likely going to be a little tender. Right? It may be quite open there. So, and then just find that spot on the other one. Right? So what we're going to do when we lie on the belly, the blocks, this corner of the block is going to go right into that spot, resting the shoulder blade. Let me show you how it looks because you can't tell. So this blanket, you may end up wanting to pull it up, or depending on what's going on, forehead can go here, or you can pull the forehead there. Then slide the corner of the block right in. Yeah. Oh. Arms can be at W, cactus, goalpost, or you can have them by the
Well, okay, we'll skip that one then.
So this is so good for you because the pecs are so tight.
Yeah.
So you play with where your arms are, you want them to be. I'll check. So the block, the corner of the block was right into that hurting place that we were working with the ball. Arms can be at your side or up in a W. Are you feeling it, Sarah? All right, so I find that in this corner, no, try it. Yeah, dig right in there. You just might not be super tight there, so bless you, child.
Let me see what she's doing.
Okay, this
Mm-hmm.
corner goes right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the head of the arm goes.
Bruises, goes.
The blocks are kind of like at a little bit of an angle. They're not straight ahead. They're like a little bit of an angle out. This, yeah, so that corner. Yeah. So you play with your arms. Do you want them down by your side? Do you want them up? You say, I don't know, there's no comfortable place. Then you just relax the head and the neck. And you just see. If you're really, we're quite tight across there. You feeling this, Shelley?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Otherwise, I'm gonna come over there and make you feel it more.
Yeah, that would be good.
No, leave me alone. So, give you a few minutes here, and then you have a choice to stay here in final relaxation. And last night when I was doing this, I was like, I don't feel very relaxed. But if you stay there a little bit longer, it actually tends to release a little more. See if you can breathe into the discomfort and soften there. Release. And find some place to see that muscle softening and releasing. It's so sweet.
And you find stillness somewhere in this pose. Still can find grace in a pose like this. And it will feel so good when you stop. Don't pull away from it just because it's uncomfortable. It means you need it more. You'll notice that eventually the stinging sensation subsides. I won't say it goes away, but it certainly does lessen. The more you soften the breath, make sure your jaw is soft, the back teeth are covered, the lips are soft, just barely touching. Maybe slightly gently move the jaw side to side. You carry so much tension in your face. And then if you want to just flip over and finish Shavasana on your back, you can. Otherwise, you can stay here. For morning classes, I think it's perfectly fine to do a little more active Shavasana. It's not about putting you back in bed, but getting you ready for the day. So if you need a moment or two on the back, then flip over. Just keep scanning the body with where you're holding tension. Consciously release it. Move it, move it. Begin to deepen the breath. And if you're still on your belly, slide your hands back. Just push yourself up and rest back, either in a child's pose or roll over on your back and hug your knees into yourself. So the child's pose hurts your knees, then roll over onto your back and pull your knees in like you're doing it on your back. If you're doing regular child's pose, slide a block under your head so you're not having to dive your head down. Knees wide apart, make room for your belly, toes together. And if you're on your back, roll to your side and press yourself up. If you're on child's pose, use your hands to press yourself up to a seated position. And sit well. Use the blocks, blankets, whatever you need. Help release the hips so the back can be long. And take a moment and sit in any position you want. You can sit in that position. This is a comfortable position to sit in if the knees and hips are killing you. The knees don't have to be on the floor. Be conscious in your position. Choose it, the one that works for you. And then take a few moments to scan the body and notice. Has anything changed? Anything shifted? Hobble the head and neck a little bit just to make sure. This nice. The jaw, slide it side to side. The face, stretch it out, yawn. Then bubble. It's fine. And then settle. See if your mind, body, spirit is synced up. Are you more aligned in the body, more aligned in your mind, more aligned in your relationship with others and the universe? Draw your palms together. We bow and say the Sanskrit word namaste, which means the light in me honors and recognizes the light in you and all beings throughout the universe. Namaste. Namaste.